What's up, YouTube? Conduit coming with another video. Just wanted to go ahead and show you guys something I'm getting ready to do real quick. For any of you guys who've seen some of my older videos, you know I'm building a 1987 Buick Regal with a 5.3 liter in it, otherwise known as a LS swap. One of the things I ran into was I put Gen 4 5.3 in, and I have a Gen 3 harness. So there's a couple different things that I had to change to make it work. First things first, I got to change the injector plugs. I had to get a jumper harness. So today I'm going to go ahead and put back in the original. Injectors. I got jumper harnesses to make them work. So I'm going to be removing the intake, putting the jumper harness back on the original harness, and putting back in my original injectors. What I had done was I had swapped out my Gen 3 injectors into my Gen 4 intake, but they're just a tad bit short and I'm concerned they won't seal. So it's a number 8 to get the intake off the 5.3 liter. So I'll go ahead and take that off real quick. Alright guys, so basically on these truck intakes for the LS's, you have the injectors right here on them, and all you have to do is literally take the fuel rail off and then just pull the injectors out. So I'll give you guys a close up. So there's 4, I think these are number 8s as well. 4 number 8 bolts. You take off the top of the intake, and that removes the fuel rail. And then when you remove the fuel rail, you can go ahead and take the injectors out, all right? I always try to find a box to put all my hardware in so I can find it later. So I'm putting these bolts in here. Anything else I'm doing with this project will be in this little box. Alright, so that's how you remove the fuel rail. I got the fuel rail out, and then on the fuel rail you have the injectors right there. And all you got to do is basically, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, basically all you do is peel these off like this. Let's see if I can get the peel off for you guys. Bruh. Well, be careful not to send them flying, but basically then you just pull the injector out. And see, this one actually was starting to go bad, the seal was, so you can see that. But yeah, you just pull these open, and then basically you can slide these back off of here, and then you can pull the injector. I keep dropping them. So now I got the fuel rail here. I got no injectors in there. I'm I'm actually putting the injectors that originally went with this vehicle back in here. So these are the original L33 injectors right here. I went ahead and bought these jumper harnesses, which you can see this one has it attached already, whereas these ones don't. Same injector, but I have the jumper harness attached so I can put the LM7 truck 5.3 iron block 5.3 harness directly on here, so I don't have any issues with fitment, because those were a little bit too short for that intake. So I'm going to go ahead and put the injectors in real quick. I am going to put on my gloves because I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the O-ring so that they slide in a little bit better to give it a little bit of lubricant. All right. I'm being careful not to get any of the grease inside the injector, so that way we don't have any issues later for like blockage or clogs. Go ahead and lube up the bottom half. All right, and then you just put it back on the intake the way you took it off. And show you guys how to put every clip back in, but basically you go ahead and set it up like that, put your injectors back in there, make sure they're facing outward so you can plug your harness in, put your 4 bolts back in there so that they sit down, make sure your fuel rods go in the direction you want it to go, not like mine, which mine's sitting backwards. Fuel inlets on the back side of the intake, like this. You can obviously switch it, but you want to make sure your fuel rail's on the back side of the intake. Make sure those injectors are nice and seated. And then like this one, you just go ahead and make sure that everything's the way you want it. Fuel inlet hose is on the back side. That's where your fuel's going to come in at. Injectors are facing outward, so you can plug them in, no interference. And then you go ahead and put your clips back in. And put the clips back in. See how the clip is? It's like a little spring clip. You just basically pop it on. And it seats. It's got like a little, it's like spring loaded. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's Probably easier to put these on before you put it back in here. Just forgot to do it. Put your 4 bolts back in. And since I'm putting these back on, I'm using an impact. I'm gonna put it on like number 1, which is the lowest setting, so I don't over tighten it when I put these back into the intake here. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. I have the intake bolted back in, clips are back on, and I'm just going to go ahead and set it back in the vehicle. And that's how you go ahead and change out injectors on the truck intake. Alright guys, so if you like the video, go ahead and smash the like button. If you have any questions, comments, or any advice for me, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. You guys let me know what I should do next. I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the harness. I got my injector swapped over now. I think I'm ready to go ahead and start plugging that stuff in, and then after that we're gonna get into the fuel. But if you guys want to see more videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Till then, peace.